Kolkata rape and murder of a young doctor continues to resonate. It's been more than a week, and the protest by doctors simply refuses to die down. Now, it's not just the doctors, it's lawyers, students, actors, professionals, homemakers, and a large section of Bengali civil society that is out on the streets protesting for justice for Abhaya. And the Bengal government, far from assuaging or addressing those concerns, is actually cracking down on the protesters as though they are a bunch of dissidents. A class 12 student was served a notice because allegedly she'd sent out a threat to Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Two very highly regarded doctors, one of them a cardiac surgeon, was today summoned, again because they asked questions of the Kolkata police and the Bengal administration. From allegedly sending ruling party goons to disrupt the protests that happened on Independence Day Eve at RG Kar, and yesterday cancelling a popular East Bengal versus Mohun Bagan football match, the Mamata Banerjee government seems to be out of touch with what is the mood on the street. The question is, will this cost Mamata Banerjee and the TMC politically?
Would be an understatement of the decade to say that what went wrong. I hope something went wrong with me, but that is not the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is not, perhaps it will be very difficult to find anything which is going right in and around you and me in this city and state right now.
एकदम हम लोग का डिपार्टमेंट का कोई नहीं और कॉलेज का कोई हमारा साथ कोऑपरेट नहीं किया। स्टेशन घाट का बारे में बोलता है, श्मशान घाट के बारे में उधर 3 बॉडी पड़ा हुआ था, लेकिन उसका पहले ही हमारा लड़की का बॉडी जला दिया गया।
See the reflection of what is happening here, kind of reality check, is there in the reported statement or observation of the Honorable High Court that there is absolute failure of the machinery in the state government.
So let's just look at the actions of the state government over the last 5 or 7 days since this case came to light, and whether these actions are leading to charges that those who are whistleblowers, those who are dissenters, those who are asking questions, and rightfully so, they should be asking questions of the state government, are they being silenced? Number one, there are prohibitory orders for 7 days outside the RG Kar hospital, which means you cannot even gather for a peaceful protest for 7 days outside RG Kar. A very famous, in fact, the most famous football match in the Duran Cup between East Bengal and Mohun Bagan was cancelled because apparently there was a threat of protest. And then eventually, after the cancellation, after the fans were outraged, the Kolkata police lathi charged them, and that led to an even graver crisis. And this was outside the Salt Lake Stadium. Top doctors, Dr. Sarkar and Dr. Goswami, very well known, very renowned, one of them a top cardiac surgeon in the city, was summoned today by the Kolkata police for, quote-unquote, allegedly spreading misinformation. Both BJP and CPM workers have been summoned for comments that they made on the case. In fact, one person is a class 12 girl student who's been summoned by the Kolkata police because she allegedly sent out a threat to Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. And it's not just people who are dissenting or people who are asking questions where they rightfully should. It's also TMC's own MPs and former MPs. TMC MP Sukhendu Shekhar Roy was summoned today by the party. Another former MP, Dr. Shantanu Sen, who used to be associated with the RG Kar hospital in the past, he's been removed from his party post because he had spoken out against the suicide theory that was floated early on by the college management, and even allegations of a cut money racket at RG Kar hospital. So it's not just, people who may not be politically inclined towards the TMC, but even their own people who are now asking questions. Has the Mamata Banerjee government gone out of sync with the mood on the street of Bengal. Because ultimately, Mamata Banerjee politically came to the limelight because of Shingur and Nandigram. These were street protests against 30 years of left front rule. What are the chances that these street protests will metamorphose into something much bigger, something we've seen in Bengal in the past, but metamorphose into something much bigger? And does Mamata Banerjee and the TMC run the risk of completely missing the mood on the street? Here in our studios, I'm joined by BJP National Spokesperson Pradeep Bhandari. Dr. Arvind Lal is a Padma Shri awardee and Managing Director of Lal Path Labs. He's one of 70 doctors who's written to the Prime Minister asking for his intervention. Rekha Sharma is former Chairperson of the National Commission for Women. We'll also be joined by Professor Manojit Mandal, who is a political analyst sympathetic to the TMC. Let me start with Dr. Lal. Why has this case touched so much of a raw nerve amongst practicing doctors, Dr. Lal? We have seen for a number of years now, doctors asking for protection, the bill in Parliament that did not get passed. But somehow this case, the way it has played out and the way the state government and the state machinery has responded to it, what forced people like you, eminent doctors, to write to the Prime Minister seeking his intervention?
Zagar, the fact of the matter is that this is the straw which broke the camel's back. There have been too many incidents against doctors and vandalizing. There was a lady, I think in Rajasthan, a few months or maybe a year back, who committed suicide because she was being hounded by the local police there for no fault of hers, because the lady died in postpartum hemorrhage, and vandalizing, the doctor's offices, nursing homes, whatever. So this is something which is so dastardly that it cannot be even, understood. I mean, we all understand there is, outliers in the society here and there, but against a doctor in a medical college, which is our temple, we have given blood, sweat and tears for, as late as COVID. And how has this happened, number one? Number two is that the security definitely has to be bolstered. This is just not a small stone throwing incident. And I would wish that the local government, you see, police and healthcare, both are in the hands of the local government. And we have known Mrs. Mamata Banerjee ever since she was a railway minister here. She's a no-nonsense lady. Yeah. And I'm sure she will do it. But it has to be done now because our back is completely broken.
So let me ask Dr. Rekha Sharma.
Talking about, enacting the
sense is
bill,
also
which is known as the prevention.
Yeah, just give me a moment, Dr. Lal. Rekha Sharma is the former chairperson of the National Commission for Women. The problem is the actions of the state government subsequent to this crime. No one is saying that any state can be absolutely crime-free. This was an absolutely dastardly crime. It should have never happened. But the actions of the state government post facto, that is what people are completely upset about. The fact that the state government was reluctant to give it to the CBI, the High Court had to step in. The Chief Minister taking out a Padayatra, despite the fact that she is the Home Minister, she's the Health Minister, she's the Chief Minister. Who is she protesting and taking out a Padayatra against? And yesterday what happened, in a sense, the final straw, cancelling the East Bengal versus Mohun Bagan match because they wanted to take out a silent protest. Is it the actions of the state government and the state machinery, and now the questioning of these doctors, summoning them, Dr. Sarkar, Dr. Goswami, because they ask some basic questions to the state administration. Is that what is fueling this anger? Because I've not seen, it's been 7 days now, I've not seen this kind of non-stop anger, momentum, mobilization on the street against a political party and a political figure.
Raka, I always say that any party or any government or any law, it takes action after the crime happens. And when the crime happens of this magnitude, the action of the government is very, very important, and action by the police, which is again part of the government. But in West Bengal, what happened is that a murder and rape happened with this girl, and then the government and the police wanted to sweep it under the carpet. The first thing they said that it is a suicide. They didn't let parents to see the body for 3 hours. They were not even talking to the principal of the college.
Yeah.
He was shifted immediately, and they were saving that principal. They never questioned the principal. They did do anything till the time CBI had taken over, and that too after the High Court order. This always, I have not seen this government of Mamata Banerjee doing anything on any case against women. It is always that they try to sweep it under the carpet. They always say that no, this is not happened like this.
Okay.
And that's why now the people of the West Bengal have come out on the roads, and they are the one who are now fighting this, I can say, the war, because this is now not going to stop till something happens in the state government. They need to change this attitude. They need to change the way they act on these crimes. This is not a small crime. A lady who was working for 36 hours was sleeping in one of the auditorium. How come an outsider know that where that doctor is sleeping? There has to be someone inside the hospital who was involved, and someone who wants, whom Mamata government wants to save. And that's why this whole thing, the whole drama is going on.
So let me put that to the TMC spokesperson, political analyst, who's a TMC sympathizer, Mr. Monojit Mandal. Mr. Mandal, the people who are protesting, they're not BJP or CPM or Congress. These are ordinary citizens of Bengal. These are doctors, students, lawyers, actors, civil society. And the reason why they've hit the street in the manner in which they are protesting is because the state government's actions, A, left a lot to be desired, and more importantly, the state government simply seems to be intent on cracking down on those who are questioning the official version of events, as opposed to actually going and finding and getting to the bottom of the truth as to what is it that killed this young doctor.
The chronology is very simple. This brutal crime happened on the wee hours of Saturday. The police registered a case by 10 a.m. Sunday, that's next morning. The police arrested the person by the evening of Sunday. The case went to CBI by Tuesday afternoon. CBI registered the case Wednesday morning. From Wednesday till now, these questions should have been put to the CBI. It's extremely inexplicable and completely unscrutable on our part. Not a single media person, forget about the BJP and some BJP sympathizers, they will never, because they have a plan to succeed. What is the CBI doing? Assuming, I'm not really admitting, assuming that the questions that you are putting through, nothing has been done by the state government. This doctor is somewhat complicit to the crime. What is the CBI doing? The doctor has been questioned for 4 days. No headway, not a single arrest. Not even a single briefing by the CBI. What are CBI trying to do?
No, but Mr. Mondal, one second. The fact that there are these gundas allegedly affiliated to your party going in and breaking up physically, violently a protest on Independence Eve. Yesterday, can you imagine if I were to tell you, forget about Mamata Banerjee and the TMC, that any state government were to cancel an East Bengal Mohun Bagan match? I mean, it is unheard of. What is the state government so afraid of? The principle in question, again, let the CBI inquire, let the CBI establish his guilt. What was the hurry in repatriating this principal within 6 hours of his resignation as principal of RG Kar?
Mr. Jaka Jacob, I will answer each and every question of yours. You may not be satisfied, you may be satisfied. Suppose that the move to transfer the principal to a different college was not right. How has that compromised investigation? And if at all that has compromised investigation, I'm assuming, not admitting, what is the CBI doing? Again, the same question comes down to this. But you are just saying that in a very lukewarm tone, let the CBI go and investigate. How long? For how long? For God's sake, how long the CBI is going to investigate? And you talk about the crackdown, you talk about those vandals. Look at their age. The vandals are clearly shown to be raising flag of a particular political party. Okay. 25 of them arrested. Not a single TMC leaning person. And even if some goons, local goons are there, there must be put behind bars, which the Kolkata
Pradeep
police
Bhandari
had
is here.
done.
Pradeep Bhandari, the contention by the TMC is Bengal, aside of this one incident, Bengal is one of the safest states for women. Kolkata is easily one of the safest cities for women. Why are you politicizing? We all want justice for this young doctor who died. You and your party are being accused by the
Please raise this
TMC
question,
of
what is CBI doing for
politicizing
the last 5,
what is
6
an
days?
unfortunate crime. Let him respond.
Thank you so much, Zaka, for having me on your show. Zaka, the comment on the misrule of the Trinamool Congress by the Honorable Calcutta High Court in the past has been that there is no rule of law in Bengal, there is the law of the ruler. This was after the 2021 anti-Hindu post-poll violence, which also witnessed many incidents of rape, and this has all been noted by the Calcutta High Court. Look at the pattern. The similar pattern happened in Sandesh Khali. The Bengal government went to the Supreme Court after months. The Supreme Court rejected the plea of the Bengal government, and Justice Gawai said that you come after months and do not act. What has happened now in the RG Kar case, Zaka, is rarest of rare in the words of the Calcutta High Court. It is unprecedented injustice. My dear friend from Trinamool Congress, Mr. Mandal, was talking about chronology, but he did not speak about the entire chronology. Please look at what happened, Zaka. When the incident of gang rape and murder took place, the police in the first instance registered a case of unnatural death despite a complainant being present. Point number 2, there were victims' parents were not shown the body in the hospital for 3 consecutive hours. Point number 3, victims' parents yesterday gave a statement where they completely point out that the Calcutta Police Commissioner was not interested in justice. Point number 4, the arguments of Mr. Mandal went to the Calcutta High Court, and Calcutta High Court commented that the state machinery has failed. Point number 5, the day the CBI took over the case, you had a vandalized mob running to the hospital, which actually was the crime scene. The Calcutta High Court had to take suo motu cognizance of it, and it reprimanded the Bengal police that if it could not protect its own men, how could it ensure law and order in Bengal? Point number 6,
Okay.
the principal who was not questioned, who had to be questioned first by the Calcutta police, was questioned first by CBI, not once but twice. My point is, Zaka, please look at what has happened. Is Trinamool Congress trying to protect the real culprit? Because if you look at the statements of the Trinamool Congress leader, and allow me to just make that statement, which is by Arup Chakravarti. You may go home or go about with your boyfriend, but if a patient dies, we won't save you. So what is Trinamool Congress indicating? That all the people who've come on the streets of Bengal, all of them are the Bharatiya Janata Party or CPM cadres. They are the people of Bengal, and the people of Bengal demand justice. And if,
No, I do-
if 5
I do-
seconds,
yeah.
Zaka, if all of this is fake, why is Mamata Banerjee imposing section 144? That is the question which we need to answer.
I do want to ask, why did the college authorities, and the parents have said
Yes.
this, the parents of the victim have said, why were they in a hurry to cremate the body? There were 3
Absolutely.
bodies. The first body hurriedly cremated was that of the victim. Why did the college authorities initially, the first call that was made by the assistant super, told the father of the victim that aapke ladki ne suicide kar li, aap aake body collect kar lo? Why did the principal, Mr. Ghosh, the former principal, why did he say that the victim was suffering from psychosis? Why was there not a formal FIR registered by the Kolkata police despite there being a complainant, which was the father of the victim? And the most important question is, why is the Chief Minister, Dr. Mondal, she's taking out a Padayatra. She's the Chief Minister, she's the Home Minister, she's the Health Minister. Who is she protesting against?
That's the 3, 4 questions you asked. At least you have spoken one fact correctly. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
At least you have spoken one fact correctly, that the call to the victim's family was made by the hospital authority, not by the police, as stated by perhaps the former chairperson of the Women's Commission, right? Now, point number 2, cremation of the body. It was done with the consent of the parents, with the police presence. The whole incident was videographed. The Kolkata police has made it amply clear. Why lies the question of hushing thing up? Let me understand that. And point number 3, your questions about transfer of the principle. If the transfer of the principle was not right, I want to understand how had that compromised investigation? And if at all that had compromised investigation, I am assuming, not admitting, what is the CBI doing? Not a single question to the CBI, Jaka, Mr. Jaka.
Okay.
Why? What is CBI doing for the last, no, hang on. What is CBI doing for the last 5 days? Are they remaining deliberately silent to
Okay,
give
so
BJP
let
political
Pradeep
dividends?
Bhandari respond to that. 5 days since
What are
the
they
court
doing?
gave
Whole,
the investigation to the
country wants
CBI,
to know
why
what
are
has
they not
happened to
making
these
any
girls.
arrests?
We
Let him
want to know.
answer.
And
Let him
that's why
answer.
nobody
Professor
came onto the
Mondal, let
street.
him answer, please. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Zaka, the CBI conducts a scientific investigation, and the CBI for twice have questioned the principal, who was not questioned by the Calcutta police. And initial 48 hours, if you remember, Zaka, and if you have, you've also pointed out, are the golden period of investigation. In this initial 48 hours, the Calcutta police registered a case of unnatural death and did not question the principal. If I am not to be believed, Zaka, let us look at what the victim's parents have said, and I quote them verbatim. No results had come out of the inquiry done by Calcutta police. No one from the department of the college cooperated with us. The entire department is involved in this. There were 3 bodies at the crematorium, but our daughter's body was cremated first. The CM is talking about providing justice, but then attempts are being made to put the common people demanding justice in jail. We are not satisfied with the chief minister. We have refused to take any compensation. So this is the victim's parents believe that Mamata Banerjee's administration is not interested in justice, but wants to ensure that the case was registered as a case of suicide and is closed completely, and a closure report is filed.
Okay.
That is the essence which we get from the entire argument.
I'm also joined by senior BJP leader Angimitra Paul. Thank you, ma'am, for speaking with us. Has this case now gotten to a certain politicized level where it is now becoming BJP versus TMC or CPM versus TMC, and the chief minister is saying that there were, CPM and BJP gundas who ransacked the hospital on the 14th of August, that this whole thing has been infiltrated by political elements. They're also saying that you're using one incident, howsoever reprehensible and howsoever condemnable this incident has been, what happened to Dr. Abhaya. You are using this to broad brush the entire state and the entire city as unsafe for women. They're also pointing to the fact that you said a lot of things when Sandesh Khali happened. Ultimately, it got mired in politics.
See, it is not about politics. It is not about BJP. It is not about any other party. It is about the security and safety of the women of Bengal. And this is not the first time that Abhaya is getting gang raped and murdered. Every morning we wake up to, these kind of murders, gang rapes, women being paraded naked in the village, kangaroo courts happening. So it's happening every day. And if something so heinous happens, then it is very natural that people and parties will, protest. Why did Mamata Banerjee, if she is so keen that, justice is there given to the family, then why did Mamata Banerjee take so many days, till Sunday, till yesterday, she had taken time to give it to the CBI? And the Honorable High Court said that the Kolkata police didn't do anything. The case didn't progress.
No, but the TMC spokesperson is also asking, the case was transferred to the CBI last Tuesday. It's going to be a week. Wednesday, they registered their FIR, the CBI. How come they've not made a single other arrest in this case so far?
See, you takes more than 7 days to decide whether you're going to give it to CBI or not. And you think that within 7 days, they will come to a decision that they are going to arrest who are the culprits. And on top of that, more than, I don't know how much evidence is left. Everything has been tampered.
Okay.
If the girl who has been murdered, in such mysterious circumstances, and we were there on the 9th when the body was being postmortemed after evening, they shouldn't have done it after evening. And then we had said that please preserve the body. Why didn't they preserve the body? Why did construction start in the place of crime? Why were
before I go back to Dr. Lal, Manojit Mandal, respond. What can the CBI do if gundas come and ransack the place, effectively destroying the crime scene? You can't expect them to have a free and fair investigation if the crime scene has been mutilated. Let him respond. Let Mandal respond. Let Mr. Manojit Mandal respond.
Jaka, you do not have to believe in us. I do believe you follow your sister channel in Bengal. and everyone is talking about that. No crime scene has been destroyed. The police has made it amply clear. And forget about anything else. My friend was talking about scientific investigation. And the main culprit is in custody. Political records are there. You are asking the questioning the principle day in and day out. You have questioned 60 more people. Madam, please have some courtesy. This is not the time for mudslinging. I know you are a habitual liar on TV. I do not want to get personal. Please, Jaka, I beg your indulgence.
How
please
can you
stop
say
this.
that Mr.
Please stop this.
One
lady.
second.
Very honorable
One
lady.
second, one
Please
second.
stop
Roy
her.
is the main
Very
culprit.
honorable but extremely
One
uncourteous
second,
lady
one
on
second, one
TV.
second.
This is not the time for
Yeah,
mudslinging.
Mr. Mondal, the
Yeah,
content.
please,
Forget
please,
about what
please.
the BJP is saying. The doctors have been saying, the doctors who are protesting there have been saying that this cannot have been done by just one man, and you are making a scapegoat out of this Sanjay Roy. They are convinced that more than one accused is involved in this.
Suppose there are, and perhaps there could be. Then some of these doctors know certain evidences. Why don't they give it to the CBI? And what is the CBI again doing? The question again comes back to the same. What is the CBI then doing if there are more than one people? And regarding the vandalism, Jaka, the police were beaten up. The police, and not a single doctor, not a single student, not a single protester is in hospital. 3 policemen, including the DC, was beaten up. The police can have so many problems of the entire country, but you have to state the fact, my dear friend.
Okay, one second.
Police-
Before I come back to Pradeep, Dr. Lal, the concern is this, that, this story has been in the news cycle for the last week, will probably be there to, for the next few days, and then some other bigger story will come along. People will lose interest in what has happened, and then the country and the news cycle will move on. Whereas doctors who have been asking for this central law for protection for, I think, since 2022, if I'm not mistaken, how come no one is focused on that? That ultimately, if you have to protect doctors, if another Abhaya should not happen, and God forbid it should not happen, then you have to have a centrally passed law, a law that is passed in Parliament.
Yes, Zaka, that's exactly what we have asked the Prime Minister to do. We have made about 5 requests, and the fourth one is the enactment of the implementation of a special law which has been pending since 2019 in the Parliament. And the law is titled The Prevention of Violence Against Doctors, Medical Professionals and Institutions. And this should be enacted, post haste now. The time has come. And unless this act is enacted, well, the people will say, or the police will say that, well, we don't have a law to protect these doctors. So as a doctor who I don't have to tell you what we all have done for the country, your land is also the land, or Calcutta is also the land of the highest known doctor in India, Dr. B.C. Roy. We have an award in his favor, which is a very coveted award. So for the sake of doctors, I request everybody concerned, especially the state government, to kindly, cooperate. Now the case is with CBI, of course they'll take some time. Now this law has to be enacted, but for the future, we are actually asking the Prime Minister that please come up with something very solid for protection against doctors.
Okay, we have seen numerous instances.
We have made the scapegoats.
Yeah. Dr. Lal is absolutely right, Pradeep Bhandari. This bill has been pending and hanging fire for the last 4 or 5 years. The onus of passing a bill in Parliament is that of the ruling party, the ruling coalition. Why are you not pushing this case?
I would assure Dr. Lal that it's an absolutely valid concern, and in the upcoming sessions of the Parliament, this is a bill which will be tabled by consulting with other political parties, and the Honourable Health Minister has also assured the doctors about their concern. I would like to say what the Trinamool Congress MP has pointed out in public domain. Trinamool Congress MP demands CBI interrogation against Calcutta Police Commissioner. So here the Trinamool Congress itself, its member of parliament, do not have faith in the Calcutta police, and this has come out in public domain. The right hand of Mamata Banerjee, the Calcutta Police Commissioner, has been accused in the Calcutta High Court, and this is taken in record in the Calcutta High Court, that the Kamduni gang rape case was scuttled, the entire investigation was scuttled when he was in charge. The question is, Sandeep Ghosh, who is past a man who is accused of corruption, he is accused of anti-women crime, why was he reinstated? Why was he not questioned by the Calcutta police? So my simple argument, Zaka, is that the Calcutta police registered a case of unnatural death when the complainant was present. So the primary accused, and the primary accused is not just the Roy who was arrested by Calcutta police. Maybe the primary accused is somebody who Sandeep Ghosh is known up to. Or maybe, and initially, just a point second, Dr. Goswami pointed out that it could have been a case of gang rape because more than 100 grams of semen was also recovered. What was the official stance of the Calcutta police and Mamata Banerjee's administration? That Ram and Bam are behind this. Did they acknowledge the fact that it could be a case of rape and gang rape? No. They were convinced of the fact that it was a case of suicide. This is why the people of Bengal have come on the streets demanding justice and asking Mamata Banerjee, why is she protecting the real culprit?
I do want to ask Dr. Rekha Sharma this. You know, they again, from time and time again, the TMC points to, you know, all that was said about Sandesh Khali and how they were victims initially. There was a lot of media interest in that story, and finally it got mired in politics. It became BJP versus TMC. They are pointing to that again in this instance, saying the same thing will happen in this case as well. It'll be in the news cycle, it'll be politicized, and ultimately people will move on from this story. How do you respond to that, ma'am? Because specifically, your name is being taken by the TMC with regards to the Sandesh Khali politicization.
See, this is TMC's, all netas and political analysts so-called are working on that this again they will say that this case is also political case, whereas the whole world knows what is the truth. In Sandesh Khali, again I will say, the women were tortured. I went there suddenly and I have no contact in Sandesh Khali. There was no one who was supporting me over there. I was the only one with my team, and I saw those women were afraid of coming forward in front of the cameras, also in front of media. They were afraid of coming to the police station, because they said, as soon as we go to the police station, we will become the target. And in West Bengal, people are afraid of the goons and people are afraid of the police also. They are the people who are torturing women. And in every case, even after every election, I saw that women are being tortured, their houses are being burned, they are being raped, murder, and so many things are happening against these women, and no police, let me tell you again, stressing on the no police come forward to help them.
Manojit
Even
Mandal,
if they
you
are
know, the likes of Sukhendu Shekhar Roy, the likes of Dr. Shantanu Sen, these are not BJP folks. These are dyed-in-the-wool Trinamool Congress people. One is a sitting MP, one is a former MP. This is what Mr. Sukhendu Shekhar Roy said, that custodial interrogation of the police commissioner is a must. We must know who and why floated the suicide theory. The result is that he's been summoned by the party high command. Former MP Dr. Shantanu Sen, who I believe in the past had a role in the RG Car administration, he has said openly that there is a racket that runs inside RG Car. Many complaints against Sandeep Ghosh, the former principal. The chief minister has not been apprised. You know what happened to Dr. Shantanu Sen? He's been removed from his post. Why?
I'd first like to respond to the very honorable doctor. His suggestions are really welcome. And in fact, honorable doctor, you must be happy to know that 2 days ago, the West Bengal government had taken slew of measures to give women protection so that this kind of incidents are not repeated at all. In the hindsight, definitely we would have done much better. But under the circumstances that we were in, Kolkata police, for God's sake, would not have done much better. If the Calcutta High Court, with all my humility, says that amidst the protest from thousands of people, why didn't you, impose 144? Is it practicable? And you talk about all the cases that.
No, what about Sukhendu Shekhar Roy and Dr. Shantanu Sen?
I'll respond.
That's the question that I asked you.
Let me respond to
please answer my question.
I will answer the question. I will answer the question, but let me respond to the other panelists also. Talk about Sandesh Khali. I am not going to compare the two. Sandesh Khali was a different case at all altogether. This is a genuine case. And even in Sandesh Khali, CBI is investigating. Over 3-4 months, nothing has been done, madam. And people can understand what is what. But this case is different. For God's sake, do not compare the two.
You're still
You
not
never
answering my
end up
question,
comparing.
so I have
And
to.
even if
I have
CBI
to
doesn't
wrap
do
up.
anything, even if
I
CBI
have
doesn't
to
do
wrap up.
anything,
Just a
we will keep the
political
pot
analysis.
boiling.
He's
a
spokesperson of
Zaka, even in Sandesh Khali, they had gone to the Supreme Court and Supreme Court rejected the plea of the Bengal government and asked the Bengal government why were they interested in protecting anyone. These are the exact quotes of the Supreme Court. The Mamata Banerjee needs to resign because she is culting justice.
I will leave it at that. Like I said, something like this, ordinary people out in the streets of Kolkata, across the length and breadth of Bengal, is not something that we've seen. You have to go all the way back to 2011 to Shingur and Nandigram, where the street and the mood on the street was so anti-establishment, was so against the establishment at the time. Again, today, much of the anger, and again, you cannot just brush it aside saying, you know, these are BJP folks or these are Congress folks or CPM folks. These are ordinary citizens of Bengal, daughters and doctors and lawyers and students who have every right to know what happened, unfortunately, to this young doctor. Who and what is it that claimed her life? And the state has to appear as above board in all its actions. Unfortunately, over the last 7 days, the actions of the Mamata Banerjee government has not given the impression that they are above board. In fact, on the contrary, it has given the impression that they have something to hide.